Well, it's week one down of a week of leave, so must be time for another beer review. Okay, guys, welcome back to Beer Reviews with the Beersarge on a very still, calm Friday night because it's just been raining because it's, coming up to the weekend and it's Northland and that's what happens. So I rocked on downtown today to do some, stuff. Had to stop in at Liquorland on the way back. As it's on the way, it's kind of, it's just my car actually goes there by itself. Went into the chiller and I was really surprised to see a beer that a brewery. It's like a selection from a brewery that I've heard of, never had the chance to taste or try any of their stuff. So I was really surprised. So I picked a couple up and I thought, right, I'm going to pick up as many different types as I can over the coming period or whatever. That's what I did. Now, this I'm not going to lie. When I first saw this sitting in the chiller, I thought, a fucking beer called Milou, and I was like, maybe it's a stout, but it's not. It's Milou. And now this is from Craftwork Breweries, and they're in Oamaru. So this is a 4.3. Now Craftwork, they handcraft their beers. Their beers are all made by hand. They're a nano brewery. I think the most they can brew on site is 500 litres, I think, or maybe 200. And then anything bigger, they go to another brewery and they do their brews there. But this one here, Milou, now it said on the side, and I was reading it, I was a bit sort of, not perplexed, but I was like, the old cog started to go. It says on the side here, one of the Craftwork brewers thought it was about time we produced a weasel beer. Well, that led to much discussion, and rather than a weasel, we came up with one man's best friend, Milou. This snowy blonde ale would not be out of place in a young Belgian reporter's hand after a hard day tracking down villains. A pale blonde Belgian, spicy with a thirst for adventure. We hope Milou will be your faithful companion to Sante. Now, I sort of read that and I was like, what the fuck is they going on about? Tintin. Yeah, Tintin. Well, yeah, by, I think, what's his name? Serge or whatever, who wrote Tintin. The little dog Snowy, Tintin's dog Snowy, who's fucking most intelligent dog in any cartoon. They're way more smarter than Pluto or me. That was the original name for Snowy, was Milou. Now, that was what it was going to be until the marketing people went, you know what? English-speaking people will not buy a book unless the dog's name is different to that, so they called him Snowy. Interesting stories, but hey, anyway, that's what beer is all about, interesting stories, and this is an interesting story too, with Craftwork. So I'm really quite excited about getting one of these into this glass. It's excited about being here, see, it's very excited. And look at that, it is pouring nicely, blonde, light, crystal clear. These are keg and bottle conditioned, from what I gather. Oh, fuck, you can smell that. So, essentially all the beers that come from, oh Jesus, shit, that smells good. All the beers that come from Craftwork breweries are Belgian, I would say, inspired. Like, they do a lot of Belgian farmhouse ales and all those, like, yeast forward, you would call them. They seem to be, to me, Belgian beers seem to be heavy on the yeast, heavy on the malt. They're just a little bit different to your stock standard beers. So, like, smelling this here, it smells like it's spicy, it's fruity, it's it's not something that you would generally peel open a can and smell. Like, honestly, the smell is totally different. But anyway, let's get into this. So this is a 4.3, and it's yeah, a snowy blonde ale. Let's have a try. Oh God, that is really, really nice. There's a sweetness to it. It's light. It's fizzy. It's quite fizzy. Like, it dances around in your mouth. It's fucking really good. Its flavour is, well, it's not bready. It's not. I don't know. It's a very light malt sort of flavour, and I guess you'd say that from the colour. But holy crap! That's so good. Belgians aren't going to be everyone's cup of tea. Spilled a bit with the older temperature being very muggy. Yeah, that is so nice. So nice. Now I've got this for, geez, I want to say $11, something like that. That's a 500ml bottle. So that's outstanding value. For a nano brewery. Honestly, it's fucking hand dated. Look at focus. They hand date. That's how small the brewery, the batches are. Hand dated. 24th of March. Batch number 23. Well, no, 3rd of the 3rd, 24 is when it's. I don't even understand what that says. Batch number 23 anyway. Best before 3 years after the bottle date. Yeah. Who cares, really? I'm not going to let that sit around for 3 fucking years before I drink it. There you go. There's a that's a different one. That's different. Give that a crack if you can get your hands on it. And they do ship from Oamaru, Craftwork Brewery, and they got a very cool website. Have a bit of a look at that. That is craftwork.co.nz, and it's Craftwork with an O, not an E, like the band Craftwork. Okay, there you go. There's another beer review from the Beersarge.